Listen closely, my dear. If your husband passes away first, there are 5 costly mistakes that can destroy everything you've worked so hard for, and too many widows say yes to them without even realizing it until it's too late. I don't want that for you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid so you can protect your future, your finances, and your peace of mind. Stay with me because number 5 is the one most women regret the most. And before we start, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. In the comments, tell me what's the best advice you ever received about money or grief. I'd love to hear it. Mistake 1. Rushing to sell the house. The first mistake, and it's one that happens so often it breaks my heart, is rushing to sell the house. I get it, sweetheart. After your husband passes, walking through that front door feels like a punch in the stomach. Every room carries his memory, his chair by the window, the spot at the table where he read the newspaper every morning, the smell of his cologne lingering in the closet. It hurts. It feels too big, too empty, too full of memories you're not ready to face. And right then, people, even the ones who love you, start giving advice. They say things like, "It's too much house for you now," or "You don't need the upkeep at your age." They mean well, but here's the truth no one tells you. Selling that house too quickly can cost you far more than you think. When grief takes hold, our judgment gets cloudy. Decisions we think are practical turn out to be emotional. And the real estate agents? Oh, they can smell a rushed sale from a mile away. You might think you're getting a fair offer, but trust me, they know you're vulnerable. They know you want out. That desperation, it costs money. I've seen women lose tens of thousands because they sold too soon. And you know what happens then? A year later, once the dust settles and the grief shifts, they regret it. They realize that home was more than bricks and mortar. It held their history, their children's laughter, their love story. And now it's gone because they made a permanent decision in a temporary state of heartbreak. So hear me now. Don't sell your home in the first year. Give yourself space, time to breathe, time to think clearly. You might find that what you needed wasn't to sell, but just to change a few things. Move some furniture, make it feel like yours again. You'll thank yourself later. Mistake number 2, trusting the wrong people with your money. The second mistake, it happens quietly, almost sneaks up on you, and by the time you realize what's happening, it's often too late. It's trusting the wrong people with your money. You see, when your husband passes, chunk 1 ends. Chunk 2 begins. The world around you changes overnight. Suddenly, people you haven't heard from in years come out of the woodwork. Distant relatives, old friends, even so-called financial advisors you never met when your husband was alive. They all start circling. Some come with smiles, others with suitcases full of paperwork, and they all say the same thing: "I just want to help." But here's what I've learned. Not everyone offering to help actually means it. Some see a grieving widow and smell opportunity. They count on your sadness, your confusion, your desperation to make sense of everything. In that vulnerable state, it's easy, too easy, to say yes. Yes, you can handle my finances. Yes, I trust you. Yes, take care of it, because I just can't deal with one more thing right now. I'm begging you, don't do it. Don't hand over your bank accounts. Don't sign papers you don't understand. Don't let someone, even family, gain control over what you and your husband built together. You'd be shocked at the number of widows who've lost everything within months, not because they were foolish, but because they trusted the wrong person at the wrong time. If someone offers to manage your money, fine, but get it in writing. Check their credentials. Ask for a second opinion. Heck, ask for a third. And remember this: a good advisor, a good family member, someone who truly loves you, they won't mind you double-checking. They'll welcome it. Your money is your lifeline now. Protect it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Now, let me tell you about mistake number 3. And this one feels like a blessing at first, but it's a trap, a big one. It's taking your husband's life insurance or pension payout all at once. See, when your husband passes, suddenly there's this big check with your name on it. Maybe it's $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 sitting in your account. And for a brief moment, it feels like relief. Like, okay, maybe I'll be all right. And then the calls start coming. financial planners you've never heard of, investment opportunities, family members with new business ideas, friends who suddenly need a loan. Everyone sees that lump sum, and they all want a piece. Even you might start thinking, maybe I should do something big, buy that new car, take that trip, give the kids a little gift. And before you know it, that money, which was supposed to carry you through the rest of your life, is gone. Gone just like that. I've seen it, my dear, too many times. And what's worse, no one tells you that once it's gone, there's no more coming. That payout wasn't a windfall. It was meant to replace a lifetime of your husband's hard work, a lifetime of paychecks you'll never see again. And here's what many don't know. You don't have to. Chunk 2 ends. Chunk 3 begins. Take it all at once. You can choose to stretch it out. Monthly payments, annuities, something steady, predictable, something that gives you breathing room. Because when you take it all at once, you don't just risk spending it. You risk losing government benefits, increasing your taxes, and making decisions you wouldn't make if you weren't grieving. Don't let that payout become a curse instead of the safety net it was meant to be. Slow down. Get advice from someone you trust, someone qualified, someone with nothing to gain. That money is your security. Now treat it with the care and respect it deserves, because once it's gone, my dear, it's gone. Mistake number 4 is one I've seen ruin more than a few widows, and it's heartbreaking because it usually comes from a good place, a mother's heart, or a grandmother's soft spot. It's co-signing loans or handing out large gifts to family out of guilt. See, after your husband passes, there's this strange pressure that sets in. You start questioning everything. Did I do enough for the kids? Do the grandkids know I love them? Will anyone stick around if I'm not helping them? And then, like clockwork, someone comes to you. A son, a daughter, maybe a grandchild, and they've got a problem only you can solve. Mom, I just need you to co-sign on this house. It's a good investment. Grandma, my business is about to take off if I can just get a little help. And you, still grieving, still raw, say yes because you love them, because you want to be needed, because you think it's what your husband would have wanted. But here's what they won't tell you, sweetheart. The moment you co-sign, it becomes your debt. If they stop paying, if things go sideways, they're not coming after your son or grandson. No, they're coming for you, your credit, your savings, the roof over your head. I know it feels cruel to say no. I know it feels like turning your back on your family, but protecting yourself is not selfish. It's smart. You spent a lifetime building your security. Don't gamble it away now, trying to solve everyone else's problems. And gifts. Oh, I've seen widows drain their accounts trying to make things right, handing out chunks of their husband's life insurance, thinking it'll bring them closer to their family. But let me tell you something I learned the hard way. Money doesn't buy love. It doesn't buy loyalty. And once it's gone, those same people, they're not lining up to take care of you when you need it. So, before you sign anything, before you give away a penny, stop, think, and ask yourself, if my husband were standing right here, what would he say? I think we both know the answer. Mistake number 5 is not updating legal documents and beneficiaries immediately. Now, this last one, chunk 3, ends. Chunk 4 begins. Number 5 is sneaky. It's the kind of thing that doesn't feel urgent until it's too late, failing to update your legal documents and beneficiaries right away. I understand. Paperwork is the last thing you want to deal with after losing your husband. It feels cold, transactional, almost disrespectful. You want time to grieve, not sit in an office changing names on forms. But here's the truth. If you don't handle it quickly, someone else will, and it might not go the way you think. Old wills, outdated power of attorney forms, beneficiaries still listing your husband's name. All of it becomes a legal mess once you're gone. When that happens, it's your kids, your grandkids, fighting over what's left. I've seen it. Families torn apart, siblings never speaking again, just because mom never updated the paperwork. And don't think the government won't step in if your estate isn't set up right. If your beneficiaries aren't clear, the state can decide who gets what. Not you, not your family, but the state. The worst part? Sometimes ex-spouses, estranged relatives, even people you haven't seen in decades end up with your money because their name was never removed from an old policy or account. It's a nightmare, one you can avoid. Call an attorney, update your will, update every single beneficiary, the life insurance, the bank accounts, the retirement funds. Make sure it all reflects your current wishes, not what was true 30 years ago. It might feel cold now, but trust me, it's the kindest thing you can do for the people you love. You'll sleep better knowing everything is in order. No surprises, no fighting, no heartbreak later on. Handle it now, because tomorrow isn't promised. My dear, I know this is hard to think about, but protecting yourself after your husband passes is one of the bravest things you'll ever do. Avoid these 5 mistakes, and you'll be able to grieve, heal, and live the rest of your life the way you deserve. If you found this helpful, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with another woman who might need to hear this today. And don't forget to sign up for my free Savvy Senior newsletter, where I share weekly tips just like these to help you stay smart, safe, and strong in your golden years. The link is below. You take care of yourself, all right? You're stronger than you know.